This week on Filmed in Utah, we're talking to the cast of Proper Manors and Lust of the Vampire Girls, all here at the Art House Cinema 502 in Ogden, Utah. Stay tuned, we got some great stuff coming up. Amy and I are here at the Art House Cinema 502, which is one of the best places to catch films that you wouldn't see in normal mainstream movie theater houses. So if you want to catch some great films, go online and find Art House Cinema 502. And they call it 502 because that's how much square footage is in this entire theater. It's small, but we got the vintage seats, and it's just a really fun atmosphere. And if you want to get away from all the corporate filmmaking stuff and you want to really get back to your roots on what cinema really should be all about, take a look for them, guys. They're at the Art House Cinema 502. And right now I've got Amy Savannah here next to me, one of our busiest actresses in Utah. And you could see why. First off, she's gorgeous, right? but but she's really dedicated on her craft. And right now we're going to talk about one of your latest projects, which is Lust of the Vampire Girls.
Yes, LOTVG we call it because it's just so long. It's crazy. It takes place in 1971. It's more of a it's not your typical vampire film. Sorry, can we chop that?
No way. We're gonna keep rolling. So it's not your typical vampire film. What's different about it?
It's not like the Twilight or the things that you got going on the Vampire.
So no one's sparkly.
Oh no, it's not that ooey gooey. It's more the gore. I play pretty girl Alex, and she's looking for something different. Her boyfriend doesn't really want to go in the same direction she's going, so she goes out to a party, gets involved with some people that she thinks is actually people and not vampires. And
well, I would make that assumption myself.
and she gets tests run on her and everything, and to make some type of hybrid. I don't want to give away too much, but basically it goes really wrong. And let's just say in that scene, I look pretty ugly and horrific, and it's pretty awesome. It's gonna be pretty rad. So,
Victor, let's talk about Lust of the Vampire Girls.
Last of the Vampire Girls. That was a fun movie, and very sexy. I mean, so many women there, sexy women.
Were they lusty?
Yeah, I guess you could say they were lusty. I guess we're in Utah, so we try to watch our body language or exposure. More, like most of the women do. Some of them don't, especially Amy.
Amy Savannah likes to get a little, yeah. Anyway, so talking more about the movie, or tell me a little bit about your character.
My character, I play Jake. In his nickname, we said it was a snake, Jake the Snake. And he's just a regular kind of guy. He's laid back, but he's also a jealous person. He's I would say possessive as well. And but just a down to earth guy, looking for love, mostly.
For a very, very long time.
Yes, and we did get a shot, but it was quite a bit of surprise to him, everything that happened. And I think the way I try to approach it was to just let him feel, I guess through the whole process. I don't know. It's a little harder to explain from my point of view because I really have no words to describe that. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
And now let's talk about your experience being an actor here in Utah. There's this feeling going around that to be an actor in Utah, you either have to be cast in a LDS film, or
kind of funny.
Or you have to leave the state to work.
That's kind of funny. I don't think you have to leave. There are less opportunities, but there's also less competition. And I guess it wages itself. You're going to move to LA, yes, there's going to be more opportunities, more things to do, but you're also dealing with more competition, more.
Right, because everyone's thinking they want to be the next George Clooney or Jennifer Aniston or whoever, and they go off to LA.
I don't think that's possible. And if you're looking at it like that, that's pretty stupid because you cannot be anybody else. You have to be yourself. You have to be yourself, and you have to paint your own path.
Matt, you seem like this is a bit of an intimidating position to be in, because you're normally in front of the camera, but instead behind the camera, and you have a new film coming out. Talk to me a little bit about what it is.
The film's called Lust of the Vampire Girls. It's a 60s, 70s style exploitation movie.
My favorite kind.
Mine too, pretty much. I grew up on bad B movies, zombie movies and stuff like that. So this is very kind of Jean Rollin, like Jess Franco kind of stuff.
And we have a lot of really great talent here in the state that's a part of this film. You've got a great DP with Ben behind the camera.
Oh yeah, I've got the best DP.
You've got a cast that's very attractive. Does that help really direct your whole entire vision?
Well, I mean, that's kind of the point of an exploitation movie, right? Is I kind of lucked out because really all I cared about was having an attractive cast, and then these guys came and like they took my lines that were supposed to be really kind of purposely cheesy and overblown, and like I watched some of the scenes and they've turned them into actual real interactions and real scenes.
So they ruined it, is what you're telling me.
No, they made it into a real movie instead of just kind of a cheesy B movie, I think. They made it better than it should have been.
Excellent. Now, the overall film, I am excited to see it. First off, the title alone gets me excited, but you also did a film similar to this not too long ago. Could you talk to me a little bit about that film?
Is that the short we're doing?
Short.
Yeah, and Jason's actually directing that. I'm first AD and a special effects guy, I guess. It's called Dickhead Dave. Mm-hmm. And it's a short puppet, because we can't say Muppet movie, about just a jerk roommate who pays no attention to his other roommate and just completely obscene and vulgar, and it should be really funny when we're done with it.
To start out with, I was assistant director on Lust of the Vampire Girls. It was very, very fun. Basically, we've done a few shorts before, but that was the first feature I've ever worked on. And again, you kind of see the footage that Matt very eloquently spoke about how it's just, it was kind of a difficult thing having to do and make that. I ended up being, I was assistant director to begin with, but ended up being unit production manager, boom operator, just clapping the thing. I did basically 5 or 6 jobs all in one day, and I pretty much collapsed after all that. So it was pretty insane. Well, it was kind of hard.
Sounds like a typical Utah shoot. You get called in for one job and you end up doing everything.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it literally was holding the boom, clapping, and then going back to it. We had a lot of the times the actors were the ones clapping. It was, yeah, exactly, really tight shots and things.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break. Advertising on Filmed in Utah is the affordable way to get your message out to thousands of local residents. Come see what affordable advertising options we have waiting for you on our website, filmedinutah.com. Filmmakers, do you want to be on Filmed in Utah? Well, all you have to do is send me an email. Send it to filmedinutah@gmail.com, and let's get you on the show.
I've always thought it'd be cool to be featured on, like with the Orchestra Temple Square, like with Motab. Something where we're televised so that the world could see that Brass Band is alive, and see that we really do exist still and we love it.
You see, she is as dead as any piece of meat. But watch. Yes, I know, darling. You are thirsty. We will take care of that soon.
I'm looking for a man with a big heart. I'm a very busy woman. I own my own business, and I've done so for a couple of years. We provide religiously themed adult entertainment for bachelor and bachelorette parties. Now, some guys get kind of weirded out when I dress up like Mary Magdalene and dance.
I'm Chloe, and you're watching Filmed in Utah.
So we're back here again at the Art House Cinema 502, which is one of the best places to watch movies that you won't see on mainstream theaters. And it's just a beautiful facility. I strongly recommend taking a look at Art House Cinema 502 for all your independent films. And filmmakers, come to this art house to debut your films. It's small, but it's so cozy, and it's a great place to do independent features. So make sure you're bringing it here to the Art House Cinema 502. Now, I got Amy Savannah here again. It's like I just had you here.
Are you seeing enough of me?
Amy is working on the soap opera Proper Manors. Now, let's talk about your role, and then I have a few more questions for you. Who is your character?
I play the role of Shyla Hicks, and she is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's good. Keep going.
She is very tough, beautiful. She is not one to be easily fooled, I will tell you that. And she comes back, or excuse me, not comes back, but she's coming to Proper to find out who her real father is. And so anyone that stands in her way, it's going to be a wild ride, so.
So do we find out that her father really is Darth Vader, or is this a totally different story?
You know what? It was Darth Vader's brother's uncle.
I thought so. You gave away the whole plot.
I know. Don't tell Pietro.
He'll be so sad that no one will watch it because they'll know that George Lucas co-wrote it.
Come to the dark side.
Now, the whole process of making a soap opera in Utah, of all places, is really unique. First off, people aren't doing soap operas as much as they used to.
They're not.
What is the difference on doing a role like this compared to doing, say, a film? You know, whereas a soap opera is going to last a very long time, could be indefinitely.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited to expand my variety of what I've been doing. Soap opera. I never watched soap operas when I was younger.
For shame.
I know. I'm horrible.
Love Days of Our Lives.
So I'm so excited just to check this script out, and it's going to be awesome because it's going to be an ongoing, like you said, ongoing project. So it's constantly going to be going. So when I don't have anything going on, which hopefully that'll never happen,
Never.
But I'm just constantly filming. I'll always have something to do unless he kills me off, which I'm watching you.
Ashley, you be a busy girl up here in Ogden. You've got Lust of the Vampire Girls, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But you're also working on the set of Proper Manors. More of a behind-the-scenes capacity?
I'm actually doing both.
Both?
Yes.
How are you possibly going to try and do both?
Well, I have a reoccurring role on Proper Manners for Lucia Santinello. And pretty much when I'm not going to be filming for her character, I will be helping out with the executive producer side. So
you're going to be busy, is what you're saying.
Right. But I like to be busy.
See, well, this is good, though, because a lot of people think that working in film industry in Utah is kind of like a fallback, if you can find the time type job to do. But we're really making this a real industry here in the state.
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually don't even have enough time in the day to do everything between my job and with acting. There's tons of stuff.
Jeff Phillips. the sexy co-producer of Proper Manners. Talk to me about what we can expect to see on Proper Manners.
A lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of secrets that will come and go. We're going to have a lot of people showing attitude. We're going to have a lot of people just showing that they are the right owners. We are here to make a scene. We are making ourselves known. A lot of fun, though. I mean, some episodes we're playing with, you have a lot of fun, a lot of just different scenarios thrown into it, just to mix everybody up.
Now, I have a lot of people from LA and New York watching this show. Mm-hmm. They're going to think, how in the world are you guys doing a soap opera in Mormon land, Utah, the world where there's no such thing as a soundstage, there's no such thing as professional crew, and there's no such thing as professional actors? What do you want to say to them?
Well, funny you say that. I have a good friend of mine from Plant City who now lives in Atlanta, and I was talking to him, get some background on his character about, just his family and whatnot. He says, "You're shooting this in Utah?" And I said, "Exactly." I would say that people here would be very surprised at the talent that we do have here. I've been very blessed to be brought into the industry with the crowd that I've been brought in with. The people that in New Ogden cinema, very talented people. This is really my first go at being in the film industry. So jumping in feet first with no experience and going right into this wealth of talent is very humbling for me, but it's also very exciting. Pietro's been doing this for 20 some odd years, and we've always joked that, if 20 years ago we would have just jumped to LA, where would we be right now? And it just seems kind of fitting that the universe is brought together right now. Now is the time. 20 years ago it wasn't the time.
My name's David Workman. I'm a family nurse practitioner, and at my heaviest I weighed nearly 300 pounds. So I gave myself a goal to ride across the entire state, and once I completed my goal, I had lost over 50 pounds. Now I'm going to push myself even further. Starting from the coast of California, I'm going to ride my bike all the way to the coast of Florida. My goal is to lose over 100 pounds and hopefully inspire many others to do the same thing by just getting up and moving. So come ride along with me, jump on your bike, as we bike across America. Filmmakers, do you want to be on Filmed in Utah? Well, all you have to do is send me an email. Send it to filmedinutah@gmail.com, and let's get you on the show. Advertising on Filmed in Utah is the affordable way to get your message out to thousands of local residents. Come see what affordable advertising options we have waiting for you on our website, filmedinutah.com. I've got Jason here, and he's writing Proper Manners, and this is going to be a really large undertaking because you've got a storyline that can pretty much go on forever. I mean, if we're doing a soap opera, that really is the ultimate goal. It's just to have a story that has multiple resolutions, multiple climaxes during the entire season, and it has to end on a cliffhanger on every episode too, which is always fun. What's the process you go through on writing each of these episodes?
Well, we've got kind of an outline of the different arcs and whatnot, so we try to make sure that we're finding what we need for each of those scenes for the overall story of the season and for the overall series, and then try to incorporate that and anything else that we have into the episode to make sure that we have, like you said, resolution and new conflict in every episode. So that's the overall goal.
And what are your options though? You're filming here in Utah, where no one ever films anything, right? No one wants to film in Utah because it's not LA or New York. But what kind of resources are you able to use here in the state?
Well, there's vast amount of resources. There's all sorts of terrains in the state. There's all sorts of communities. Let me rephrase that. There's an infinite amount of possibilities within different communities as well, because not even in Weber County, not every city looks the same.
Right.
So you have an infinite amount of resources in the state, which works for a soap opera, which has infinite possibilities.
All right. Well, Proper Manners is the story of a group of just recently graduated teenagers in the small town of Proper, USA, and they quickly discover that everything in the town is not what it seems, and they are merely pawns in the games that the adults are playing. But it's really a story ultimately about two best friends that can't be ripped apart no matter what happens.
Now, what does it take to be a director in Utah? You know, when you're in LA and New York, you have lots of resources. Is it challenging to direct pieces here in the state?
Well, you know, that's a great question. That's why, for Proper Manners, I hired 3 directors, because I'm an excellent producer. I'm a creator. I'm good at getting the ideas executed. I'm great on media. However, when it comes to the directing, I leave that to my directors. I have 3 excellent directors for the first 2 seasons.
Well, I'm excited to see this as well. What is your production schedule looking like? When can we start seeing episodes? And where can we watch Proper Manners?
Well, propermanners.tv is our main website that's going to be hosting the show. We've already shot a teaser video that'll go up soon. We shot that in February. We'll be shooting every weekend starting March 17th. And I do mean every weekend, because we have to shoot 22-minute weekly episodes, and it's a soap opera. So every Thursday at 10 a.m., we imagine there's going to be ladies sitting, and men and children, and maybe even some farm animals. Jeff, do we have any farm animals in Proper? We'll talk about that later. That might be an idea. Okay. So what I'm thinking...
Circus folk.
We'll have a circus folk, because Joey Sorrento at one point will probably run away with a circus. It really happens.
I'm already in love with this soap opera.
Yeah, his parents did not approve. It was one of those big inflatable ice cream cones. I don't think Joey Sorrento has any idea. Poor Hunter Gomez.
But you know what? I can understand this. I am totally in love with those giant ice cream cones, obviously.
Yeah, me too. We should get ice cream together sometime.
Let's go get some ice cream.
I'm all down.
All right, let's go get some ice cream.
I've been in circumstances in my life when I haven't had access to music, and that's been very difficult. But I remember everything I've heard, so I can play it back.
Now, ultimately, you have been working so much in both still photography and video production that I've noticed that they kind of blurred the lines between just being a still photographer and a director of photography. How important do you think it is to have a foundation in still photography before you make the jump into making films?
That is an awesome question, Warren, and that is something that I have been pushing in both my career and my journey as a cinematographer and a photographer, is that there's so many still photographers out there that are afraid to get into film and motion picture. And then there's a lot of motion picture guys out there that are afraid to jump into the world of still photography. To me, lighting is lighting. The quantity, quality, and shaping of light is the same thing whether it's 24 frames a second or a still image. And so my goal is, I consider myself a hybrid. You know, I dabble in both. Having a firm foundation in lighting before you jump into camera work is essential. You know, you can have the best camera in the world, but if you don't light a scene appropriately, it isn't going to look right. You know, there's so many people now, and with the advent of digital technology, post-production work, Photoshop, etc., a lot of people are using that as a crutch to take a mediocre photo or a mediocre footage and tweak it and twist it to where try to make it something substantial and nice. I'm one of those guys. I try to get it right in the camera the first time. It's one of those things, if I even have to spend more than 3 minutes in Photoshop on an image, the image is botched, I don't even worry about it. If my exposures are off by more than a quarter or half a stop, footage isn't even worth it, it's a bad take. So I'm one of those, if you find yourself saying, oh, I'll just fix that and post later, slap yourself in the face, yell at a PA, yell at a gaffer, yell at yourself, and get it fixed beforehand.
Stop working for free, guys. There are plenty of films that are looking for you, and they want to pay you to work on their film. Mistletones is currently in production. They are looking for crew. Send in your resume to mistletonesprod@gmail.com. The feature film Doorway is looking for production assistants and a script supervisor. Send that resume to doorwaycrew@gmail.com. Aerostorm Entertainment is crewing up for Lone Wolf Little Dragon. This is going to be shooting in April. They're looking for cast and crew. Send your information to info@aerostormentertainment.com. The Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp is going to be here filming in the Moab area. They're looking for crew. Send in your resumes to silverbulletproduction@mail.com. Note in the subject line to put the department, position, and name so they can get back to you appropriately. Well, that just about does it for me on this episode of Filmed in Utah. I had a great time chatting with the crew and cast of both Proper Manners and Lust of the Vampire Girls. If you have a chance to take a look at some really cool films up here in Ogden, I strongly recommend visiting the Art House Cinema 502. It's a beautiful theater, and it's great for watching all those movies that you won't see in the mainstream movie house. Well, I'm Warren Workman. Keep filming, Utah. Advertising on Filmed in Utah is the affordable way to get your message out to thousands of local residents. Come see what affordable advertising options we have waiting for you on our website, filmedinutah.com.
Hi, my name is Walter. I am 49 years old. I consider myself a scholar adventurer. I am a published author. I live half between Africa and Europe. I am married. I am seeking a long-term mistress or a full second wife.
Filmmakers, do you want to be on Filmed in Utah? Well, all you have to do is send me an email. Send it to filmedinutah@gmail.com, and let's get you on the show.